I built up one of the greatest companies, and I'm very proud of it, and there's probably nothing like it. Everything I touched turned to gold.
I built an unbelievable business, a great, great business, some of the greatest assets in the world. I built a company that's worth more than $10 billion, okay?
None of that is true. Donald Trump just loves to talk about how rich and successful he is. The myth about his wealth is what inspired his reality show, The Apprentice. And he rode those lies all the way to the White House and into becoming an actual cult leader. But the reality about the former president is, as the New York AG laid out today, that he's nothing but a grifter. In fact, accusations of Trump's financial impropriety go back decades. According to an investigation by the New York Times, in the 1990s, Trump helped his parents dodge taxes and increase his own wealth when, according to the Times, he and his siblings set up a sham corporation to disguise millions of dollars in gifts from their parents. He also helped formulate a strategy to undervalue his parents' real estate holdings by hundreds of millions of dollars on tax returns, sharply reducing the tax bill when those properties were transferred to him and his siblings. There are also hundreds of accusations that Donald Trump refused to pay contractors and workers dating back to the 1980s. Then you have Trump's charity foundation. And according to the Washington Post, Trump spent more than $250,000 from that charity to settle lawsuits involving his own for-profit businesses. And of course, who could forget about Trump University, which, spoiler alert, was not a real university at all. The week-long seminar school was designed to teach students the secrets of real estate investing, turned out to be just a massive scam. Even a former employee called it a fraudulent scheme, which seems to be the general theme of Donald Trump's entire career. And the real kicker is, he probably would have gotten away with most of it, if not all of it, if he had never become the president of the United States. Joining me now is David Cay Johnston, co-founder and editor of DCReport.org and the author of The Big Cheat, How Donald Trump Fleeced America and Enriched Himself and His Family. What a perfect title, David. You and I have talked about this for years. When he was running, I remember you being on my weekend show, and we talked about the fact that Donald Trump snookered the whole country, including, let's be honest, the media. He used to be on Larry King talking about his billions. He got himself an Apprentice show. This whole conceit that he was a self-made billionaire never was true. It was always a lie. How did he run this game financially against the state of New York for so long?
Well, in this case, where you're dealing with his bank loans, the insurance companies, and tax people, Donald took advantage of the fact that we are not serious in this country about enforcing white-collar crimes. Yeah. You rob a bodega with a water pistol, we'll see to it that you go to prison. But you steal the way Donald and his family do, and they are a white-collar crime family, then you get away with it because there's no serious effort to say to the bankers, are you really complying with the rules? To the insurance companies, how well are you managing those assets that you hold in trust, in effect, for the people who pay premiums to you? And in the case of the property taxes, we've made the system overly complicated, and we don't provide money for governments to address when someone like Donald Trump value something for lending purposes at one price and then pennies on the dollar when he appears for a property tax appeal.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a family tradition. I mean, his father was a tax cheat. He was a tax cheat, inherited this money, changed the value of the properties so that they could inherit money without paying the proper taxes. And here's his children now. This is just about his kids from the New York Times. Since the older ones, Tiffany and Barron are apparently the lucky and smart ones because they ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Since the three joined the business shortly after each graduated from college, lines have a way of blurring. When Donald Trump Jr.'s investment in a concrete paneling business in South Carolina faltered in recent years, leaving him personally responsible for a loan of more than $3 million, the Trump Organization helped bail him out. Before Eric Trump, who oversees Trump golf courses and a Virginia winery, faced questioning in a lawsuit from aggrieved club members in Florida, his father signed a letter saying the unhappy patrons would be out. Ivanka Trump has used the Trump Organization payroll, information technology, and human resources for her separate brand. Her website's domain was registered by the Trump Organization lawyers. I could go on, David. They're all grifters.
Right. Well, this goes back, in fact, even further. Donald Trump's grandfather was a draft dodger from Germany. He built a hotel for what were called sporting ladies on land he didn't own. In other words, he was basically a pimp. And his father ripped off taxpayers. This is a family where they believe it's okay, whatever they do, because they're special. And what Letitia James has done here that's very important is she has said all throughout this suit, Trump knew, Trump directed, Trump went to this meeting. Because Donald has traditionally said, I just did what my experts told me to do. And she then shows, here's what the experts told you. This building's worth $200 million. You then claimed it was worth $527 million and said the experts had told you that. She puts this in a place where he cannot deny this. That's why he took the Fifth Amendment when he was questioned, 500 times, something on that magnitude.
He also, I mean, he said, I mean, William Barr, who we already know is, I will just say, in my opinion, he seems to be quite corrupt and corruptly tried to help the president when Trump was president, going out and saying, leave the children alone. Here's Trump handing his business over to his kids. This is 2017. This is January 2017.
My two sons, who are right here, Don and Eric, are going to be running the company. They are going to be running it in a very professional manner. They're not going to discuss it with me.
Oh, professional manner. In the spring of 2012, prosecutors in the Manhattan DA's office had been building a criminal case against Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. for misleading prospective buyers of units in Trump Soho, a hotel and condo development that is failing to sell. The evidence included emails from the Trumps making clear they were aware that they were using inflated figures about how well the condos were selling to lure buyers. They're all cheats.
Yes, and in that case, Joy, the profits that Trump got disappeared into an Icelandic bank that was under the control of a Russian oligarch. This is a family enterprise. And, you know, we're not talking about some 18-year-old duped into something. These are middle-aged children, or at least the oldest son is certainly middle-aged. And you either have responsibility or you don't. I mean, Donald has tried to suggest that, well, my children, you know, they're young, they're being beaten up on. Well, if it was Barron, I would be with him, but not on this.
Or if it was Tiffany, because she didn't even have respect for Donald Trump. She gets nothing.
Right.
You know, and she's probably very lucky. She should thank her stars that she gets nothing, because being not involved is excellent for you, Tiffany. Trust. David K. Johnston, thank you very much. Before we go, we do have some breaking news in the Trump Mar-a-Lago investigation. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has lifted the hold, barring the Department of Justice from using the classified material seized in their investigations.